let's talk about the most controversial and the topic that everybody wants to avoid in trucking industry. Yes, we are talking about drivers' net check. How much drivers can make decides if somebody will stay in your company or leave. Now we're gonna talk why drivers are leaving, how to reduce their expense, get their checks bigger, and on top of that, this secret and strategy doesn't involve you getting a better market, doesn't involve you hiring new dispatchers, doesn't involve you getting more drivers to your company, filling turnover, nothing that we used to from this content. We are talking about the simple math, simple strategies, and this will not cost you a thing, so stay around. Here we have really interesting topic, and it is how to increase your driver's checks by 20% without doing a thing. Yes, you heard me right. We're gonna talk about how can you basically navigate to the driver's check, not giving them free trailers, not giving them free fuel, not giving them free trucks, and postpone the cost that may cost you hundreds, even thousands of dollars later if that driver leaves. First of all, what we need to say is how to increase your driver's check by 20%, and it's simple, easy. The most common thing is that most of the drivers have two fuels in one check. Yes, you heard me right. Nobody is educating drivers where they need to put the fuel, and the most important thing, how much that fuel costs. The most common thing is that drivers are putting, let's say, fuel on Friday and their check cut is on Wednesday, so that means that they will put 2 times full tanks of fuel that will be on one check. That deducts their check from $500, $800, even $1,000 if they are putting expensive fuel in their trucks, and for that money they will blame you. When they see that low check, they will be like, okay, this company doesn't do something right. I only got $300 check or $500 check or $1,000 check, but I drive so many miles. So you'll be like, okay, these guys are doing something wrong, but they don't see 2 types of fuel in their check. So when your accounting or recruiting starts explaining them, it's already late. They're already pissed off and they already want to change the company and searching for other solutions. They never want to point the finger at them, they're pointing finger at you. So you as a company need to educate them before they go to the road, because this will save you not only money on the check so you can present more checks to your drivers, but also retention, because the happy driver is the one that have money for his driving. So what would I suggest here to do is to educate everybody when is your fuel cut, and suggest to everybody when to put their fuel. Even let's say your cut is at noon in Friday, even though they need to put fuel on Friday, you need to let them know you need to put like 20, 30, 40 gallons in the morning. Then after 12, put the rest of the fuel in your truck, so that will keep your check really high, and that due balance you will put in the next check, so you always have one big fueling that will sustain the whole week in the week that you are driving if you want to make money. And most of the drivers, let's be honest, are not taking care of what day it is. They have other obligations and they just like are not so reliable when this thing happens. So by you only educating them, it will make some difference, but the biggest difference that you will make is thing number 2. You need to have a fuel person. A fuel person is the key moment in the company if you have more than 50 trucks. Not only that they will save you money on fuel just by letting the drivers know where they need to put the fuel, but they will also get you the biggest rebate for the fuel. I assume some SATA and other ELD devices or tracking devices have also implemented in their software how much driver have fuel. Let's say you have 100 truck in your trucking company. Your people who are low in 1/4 of a fuel is probably 20 to 30 drivers. What you need to figure out for those 30 drivers, every day they need to be a dedicated person that will see and plan their route where will be the cheapest fuel. So fuel by lowest price. But it's not only about the fuel. The fuel they will see on their checks. But the second thing that you have, it's the rebate for the fuel. Majority of the companies above 30 trucks get some type of discounts for the fuel. I assume you're one of them. So if you also have rebates, you know that usually varies from gas station to gas station. Sometimes, I know when I was driving a truck, you have 1 cent or 10 cents in Pilot, and then on Flying J across the street you have 30 cents. Same price of fuel, just a different rebate. So this person will not only be responsible for driver satisfaction on one side, they will be responsible as well on getting their cheap fuel on their route and give them suggested pumps that they will put the fuel. On top of that, they will choose what's the best for the company and what's the best on the rebate standpoint, so you will increase the money of the rebate that you will get from the pump, from Flying J, Petrol, whoever you're using. So not only that you will make bigger checks for your drivers, you will also make more rebates for your company, and that rebates means cash. So this person, only by increasing the amount of rebates, let's say on 100 trucks, that can go to thousands of dollars, if not tens of thousands of dollars every month, you get this person for free. So you get a free fuel person only on making sure that your drivers are putting fuel. You are then, again, everything that we are speaking about in these videos are just making sure that the drivers are staying longer in your company. If they have this type of checks, even though they need to put the fuel person will let them know, okay, in this week you have 2 big fuels, so don't be surprised if you have less money on your check for the week that's coming. So this fuel person can go completely for free if you have more than 50 trucks. It doesn't matter if it's company driver, lease to purchase, or owner operators. I don't mind that even owner operators will be devastated if you have some person that will let them know where to put the cheapest fuel, because if they put the cheapest fuel, they will have more checks, and on top of that, of course, a little bit more customer support and customer care. Don't mind, especially in this type of job and work, because trucking, I think, from all industries that we are involved in, especially from all lucrative industries, have the worst customer care, and we're gonna change that in these videos. But if you like this video and what we are sharing so far, please subscribe, because we're gonna have a lots of content like these simple tricks, tactics that I use with my clients that I consult, basically to implement all of these systems in their company, and not only getting them hundreds of thousands of dollars of savings, but also increasing the number of drivers that stays in a company and driver satisfaction and branding. And the third most important thing that this person can only look is MPG. 3 words that means gold. MPG doesn't only stand about how much drivers gonna spend for fuel, it also tells you a lot about DNA from the drivers. In one of the previous videos, we mentioned that difference between 7.6 MPG and 6.6 MPG is more than $230 per week only for fuel. So if your driver is making less than 7 MPG, that usually means that he is a bad driver. Not only bad driver for himself and he have a bad checks, it also means that he is bad driver for the company. Drivers who have lower than 7 MPGs, you need to think to literally move them from the company, because not only they are usually driving faster and have more harsh brakes that you can see in your samsara. Don't believe me, just go to your samsara, go to the average fuel consumption and see how many hard brakes they have, and basically they are more risky on the road, because this less than 7 MPGs goes to their driver behavior. So everybody less than that needs to be trained, informed, and at the end of 3-4 weeks, if they don't change, removed from the company, because they are costing you probably more money than they are making, especially if they are company drivers. National average that all the trucks and all the brokerages are calculating is 7.5 MPG. So if your fuel consumption on a company base, doesn't matter if you're 30, 50, 100 truck company, needs to be here. That means that you are good. It doesn't matter. Somebody will say, okay, these type of videos are only for 100 truck, 200, 300, 500 truck companies, but 30 truck company have more needs to save and they need to calculate more dollars. So it doesn't matter how many trucks you have. You are always building 2 businesses, one that you're having right now and setting up the pillars for the business that you want to in the future. So if you track these numbers right away, when you have 200 trucks or 100 trucks, this will make sense a lot. So let's recap. First thing that you need to do, you need to make sure that you don't have 2 fuels in one check. So make sure that when the drivers are having 2 fuels in one check, they were for sure complaining. It doesn't matter how many miles, it doesn't matter about the market, you need to have that fuel for the week that's coming. Second thing is, as you can see, fuel person, if you have a big fleet, that can also be 2 person that can manage and track the fuel in your company, because after the maintenance, this is the biggest mistake for a trucking company. And of course, this person you can get completely for free, even earn more money for the drivers and for the company just by by switching and managing the rebates that you are getting for certain fuel pumps where your truck will get fuel from. And the third thing, that's also not only increasing the money that drivers are making, but also monitoring the equipment that you are having, because if you're having a company driver that's have 6.6 mile per gallon, that means that he is also using a lot of brakes. Your equipment will be in worse shape. He is using a lot of torque, so you will maybe need to have more maintenance, tires and everything else. From this type of driver, then the driver will have, let's say, 8 mpgs. So make sure to watch all of these steps. If you have any other advices about the fuel, comment below, or if you like the video, as I said, subscribe, because we're gonna have a lot more videos like this. And on top of that, we have a video that we will have a lot of gifts, not only for truckers but also for owners of a trucking company. So stay tuned and see you in the next video.